if you pay attention to negative community members, you know, to negative comments, if you always reply to that fella that's always saying bad stuff, you know, and harassing you, you are going to attract more people like that, because that's what they like to see. They want to see your reaction to it. And most guys saying, I love how your streams and videos are usually positive and encourage discussion. Too much content nowadays feels a bit well cold. I'm glad you enjoy my content, Musgai. You know, I try most of the time, I try to be positive. I have made some negative videos in my channel here, and there's even, I think, 1 or 2 in which I'm very pissed at Valve. But I try to keep that at a minimal. You know, I think it is important to criticize what's wrong with the game, but we should not let that stuff dominate what we do and how we interact with the game, you know. Especially, for example, in regards to the bots and stuff like that. I see some channels and some content creators that are always talking about those things, and I think it empowers those negative people in the community more than it should. You know, one of the things we can do to remove power from those sorts of toxic community members is to not talk about what they're doing, you know. They do what they do because they want some sort of attention. So that's why I try to keep those things to a minimal. I notice a trend that also I find a bit worried, Muskai. I don't know if you fellas noticed that as well, but I've noticed that multiple TF2 Youtubers and content creators are making videos highlighting negative interactions. You know, either on the title or in the thumbnail. If you go watch the video itself, it's just a regular gameplay video, nothing much happens. You know, perhaps there is some attrition between 1 or 2 players in one specific moment of the video, but other than that, the whole video is just fun gameplay, you know, people having fun, stuff like that. But what we'll get in the thumbnail and the title is that negative interaction that happened for like 5 seconds, you know. So titles like "They thought I was hacking," or "TF2 players tried to kick me," or I made free-to-play cry, you know, stuff like that. I've been noticing appearing a lot in the titles and thumbnails of multiple creators, you know, different people. And I think that's kind of worrying. I understand why they are doing that, because negative content draws more attention than positive content. You know, there's the negativity bias, that's a psychological phenomenon. That explains, you know, that we are wired to pay attention to negative information more than we pay attention to positive information. So usually those sorts of titles and thumbnails get more clicks. But I think it is worrying because suddenly it creates a mindset that, you know, if you are toxic to others, then you will get attention. You know, you will get showcased on a video title, stuff like that. And I think that's a dangerous mindset. I've seen that happen before with other YouTubers that started, you know, showcasing that sort of negative content, and they started getting continuously harassed or being followed around by toxic players, because those people learned that if they were toxic to such creators, they would get showcased in a video, even if it was just for a moment. It's sort of a bad reinforcement, you know. So it actually worries me a bit to see that is becoming a trend among content creators. What do you fellas think? Have you noticed that sort of stuff as well? You know, that sort of trend? Are you concerned about it? What is your opinion on this topic? I think it's something that wasn't commented yet, you know, about content creators in general, and I think it's worth talking about, because I think it can be an issue in the long term. Most guys saying, I feel like I know who you are talking about. LOL. I'm not talking about any single person, Musgai, but you know, I think you can really see this happen on other channels. I'm not talking, again, I'm not talking about any single creator. I'm talking about multiple creators. I've seen this happen on multiple occasions. Not, come on, I was gonna hit that medic there. Not only on a single channel. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Muskai. I think it's one of those, for sure. And again, I understand why they do this, you know, why they frame their content as something negative. Because it draws attention, it's a way to get clicks. And I'm not faulting them for that. When you are a content creator, it is important to try and get clicks, you know, that's actually what you want. You want people to watch your videos, to subscribe, to engage with what you are producing. But I'm worried for them, you know, that they could in the end attract people that won't be nice to them. Because from experience, see, that soldier is smart. I think it's Froggy. I think that's Froggy. Very smart. Or is it Salgado? I think it was Salgado. You see what they were doing? They were shooting a rocket and then switching to the Bison. Because as a pyro, I would go in the, they were going to shoot another rocket. I have to air blast mindset, you know. I was gonna think about that. But because I can't air blast the Bison, they can get free hits on me. So that's a very clever way to use the Bison, actually, against pyros. Very nice. But yeah, as I was saying, from experience, you know, I've had this channel for about 1 year, I think, posting content regularly. And my other channel, my Brazilian channel, I've had for almost 10 years now. And what I've seen is that if you pay attention to negative community members, you know, to negative comments, if you always reply to that fella that's always saying bad stuff, you know, and harassing you, you are going to attract more people like that, because that's what they like to see. They want to see your reaction to it. And if you try to avoid that and kind of like just pretend that doesn't exist and actually reward your positive subscribers, replying to them, you know, to the people that appreciate you, then you attract more people like that. So that's why I try to make an effort to keep my content positive, because I want, you know, to have positive interactions with you fellas. It's better both for my mental health and for yours. So that's an important effort you have to make. And I think at least in my opinion, okay, again, I'm not faulting anyone for following those different strategies, but I'm just saying what I think for myself. I don't think the clicks we get for, you know, simply negative content, I don't think they are worth it, the negative interactions they foster in our community. So that's why, again, I try to keep that to a minimum. You know, you'll never see me do a negative video without a good reason for it. For example, I would never title this stream like something, they thought I was hacking, or they tried to kick me, or stuff like that. You know, I don't think that's a good way to frame your content. But again, that's my opinion. So people are free to do differently. It's just that I worry for them. So yeah. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Exo is saying, I think on top of that negativity bias, there are a lot of positive content creators who do things like me, like posting funny clips, and less negative creators. There's more demand and less supply. Yeah, makes sense, you know, Exo. I think that's also part of the situation, and I think there's really an audience for negative content. You know, people like to watch that for whatever reason. And, you know, I kind of get it. For example, some rage compilations can be kind of funny, but I think it's something you have to do sparingly. You know, if your content starts to become solely that, you know, solely rage content or negative content, I think it's kind of dangerous, you know, for your own well-being in terms of your mental health and stuff like that, you know. What I was saying earlier. But I think it makes total sense what you're saying there, that there's a demand for that. That's true, for sure. As much as I love the mystery person, who I won't name, yeah, he's a good fella. I like him as well. I feel like they try to get reactions for their vids based off the way they act to other players. Yeah. And again, I'm a bit concerned for them, you know. I've seen that happen. Here in Brazil, we say, eu já vi esse filme, which means literally, I've seen this movie play out already, you know, to that soldier falling down was funny. To mean, you know, that I've seen this situation happen already to someone else. And it really was unfortunate. So that's why I worry. But I agree with what you were saying there, fellas. Makes total sense.